Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the program Marriage Keys. My name is Jacqueline Debija. On Marriage Keys, we say it time and again, and indeed, we believe it. We believe very much that when a home is stable, the children that will come out of those homes will be well rounded individuals. I'll tell you this quickly. Right now, as we speak, I am involved in a case where, a 13-year-old has been raped since when she was 10 by her uncle. And when I had the opportunity to speak to this young, beautiful soul, she told me that the mother and father are divorced, her mother is in the village. And I just thought to myself, oh my God, I wonder what her story would have been if her mother and father had bothered to try to make it work. And I cannot tell you how many more stories I've heard where the bottom line has always been that from home base, that child was vulnerable. Even when parents are together, but they can visibly see that their home is not on stable ground. When father can insult mother at the drop of a hat, where mother has no problem disobeying or, just showing defiance to the husband in the face of the children, or even insults her husband in the face of the children. I tell you, such children are so vulnerable to predators. And what I find is that honestly, I don't know whether it's social media that has made it this bad or simply the fact that people are talking more or whatever. But I will tell you that there are so many people, wicked, evil souls out there, just waiting to prey on innocent lives, on innocent children. And so it starts from you, what you do with each other. It affects your children so much you cannot even begin to fathom the ripple effect of you having a loving home or otherwise. Welcome once again to Marriage Keys. Unfortunately, Mr. Ogbaki is not here this evening, but I have with me Pastor Patience Dodo and Reverend Joe Adejo. I really appreciate your presence. And I hope, like we discussed with Mr. Ogbaki, that if he has something to say about this, he will send in his reactions, because someone actually during the week specifically asked me to tell both Pastor Dodo and Mr. Ogbaki, and it's a female. She said she doesn't understand why you people were talking, the way you were talking 2 weeks ago, right? You weren't here last week when you were saying, if a man doesn't have one, we're talking about finances for young people. And she said to me, Jacqueline, I've been married for close on 20 years. And that for the better part of those 20 years, she has been carrying the financial burden. She said her husband is nice to her. He helps her with the housework. He tries to help her where possible. She said, but Jacqueline, as I'm speaking to you, I actually feel bad because he's actually been helpful in other ways. She said, but it is only if she is pushed to a point of where she knows that she might disgrace her husband in public would she say. She said, during wedding anniversaries, when people stand up to make speeches, you hear a lot of spouses saying, if I had to do it all again, I would do it with you. She said she would never. She said because it's not been funny. And so she said she really needed for us to talk about the finances and let people know that, because you people were saying that what she got, prospects. Yes, that if he has prospects or just go ahead, and then of course the man can, even when you don't have, there are ways in which you can make up for it by being nice to your wife and all of that. She said the only reason why she's still with her husband are two. There are two reasons. She said her children, and God, not in any particular order. I think she said God and her children. And so I just wanted to hit you with that first before telling the people that we're live on Facebook. You can go on Facebook and please drop your comments there for us. Otherwise, you can send your thoughts and or opinions to the number 09072703270. Once again, that's 0907032. I've mixed it up again. 09072703270. I hope you got that. So you can start to send in your thoughts and reactions there. And Mr. Ogbaki, if you're listening, Mr. Ogbaki is not feeling too strong, but he's listening. So here is praying God's strength upon him. If you're listening, you might want to send in your reply to this lady who is listening. She said she totally agrees with the strong stance that Reverend Adejo has taken about finances. She said because she is living it, and that is why she is speaking from experience. All right. So I don't know whether you want to, say something about that before we go into what we have for today.
All right. Good evening, everybody. I know it's difficult, when a man does not have, in fact, we have said it over and over and over again here. We said the man is supposed to be the breadwinner of the home and the wife is the helper. But you see, there are some times that a man might not have anything doing for now, and then God will bless him. That's why I said, if the man is not a lazy man and he's hardworking, and he has prospects, you can go ahead and marry, because God might bless him tomorrow. I don't subscribe to the fact that you marry a man that is only has dreams and is talking about millions, and he doesn't do anything about it, and he's not going to get up to work, and still you go ahead and marry him. Because in such a case, people will be warning you, don't marry this man, because this man is lazy. Don't marry this man because he doesn't keep jobs. You get the warnings before the marriage, before you start your marriage. But what I'm saying is, for instance, if a man finishes school and he has not yet gotten a job, and you are seeing that he's struggling, doing one thing or the other, trying to bring in little money here and there, there's nothing that stops you from marrying him. You should go ahead and marry him, because tomorrow you don't know, God might bless him, as long as he's not lazy. Even if the man has to pack sand, let him do something. If he's doing something, then of course you can say, okay, I know that this man is going to try hard to fend for the family. But where the man is not doing anything, he doesn't make any effort, he's depending on one brother or one sister or the other, that is when you are getting the warning signs. Then that is not advisable. But this man, before he marries, of course he must have a house. You live in a house. You will not live in his parents' house. He must have a house, and then he must be doing something. That's my stance on it. He should be doing something. That's what I said. It's just that I didn't say that you should marry him when he has nothing at all and he's not doing anything. You will live in a house. Who will pay the rent? Definitely not use his responsibility to pay the rent. So that is what I meant that day, because when I was speaking, they didn't allow me to land. Obaki took over from me. But that is my stance concerning that.
Okay, I don't know if Reverend has something more to add, even though I wouldn't make bold to say that this woman's husband is a lazy person. I don't think so, because if he had been a lazy person, I believe she would have said something. I think it's just life just didn't, probably work out the way he wanted it to. And now they're at an age, I think a certain age where, you can't exactly go out and look for jobs. They're actually running a business she opened together. He's actually the face of a business that she managed to open.
The disadvantages of not having enough to keep your home is even disastrous. Your wife will soon begin to disrespect you, not by her will, but because of the condition she has found herself. Woman is not made to take, is like a helper becoming the burden bearer. She is a helper. He shouldn't take the greater part of the load. No, she's a helpmeet. So I stand, even if you are earning 40,000 a month in this present age, I will not marry you. I will not conduct any wedding for you. That is me. Because 39 years experience is not 39 months. And I speak out of experience and out of the knowledge I have of the scripture. I still stand by my word that if you are not having enough to take care of yourself and take care of another, just like if I advise anybody to buy a car, has money to buy two before you buy one. If not, when that car has problem, you will not be able to even repair it. So if you want to get married to a woman and you want that woman to enjoy home, make sure you have something to take care of that woman, because the Bible has said it clearly in 1 Timothy chapter 5 verse 8, that if you cannot take care of your house, he said, you are worse than an infidel. So you see, the Bible is clear about it. Every man that wants to get married, make sure you take care of your wife. Don't marry by faith. That is very, very... Look, a lot of people are marrying by faith that something good is going to happen. That is not how to marry. If you want to place yourself on that risk, you can go alone. Don't carry another person to suffer with you.
All right. Okay, so let's quickly move on, because I did say we actually touched on, we talked about two major things for young people since the month of February is actually dedicated to them. We talked about two things, money and also sex. And we've touched on quite a number of things concerning money, and we had touched on sex, but also said we were going to come back to this. But during the week, and I think it's only fair that we also quickly address this, someone sent this. Someone said, "Good evening to the pastors and the reverend. May God bless you all. Nice work." And went on to thank the resource persons and said, "The problem here that I have is between my parents. It's actually a long story, but I will try to make it brief. It happened that my mother gave birth to 9 children, both male and female. So my parents agreed to stop with that particular number of children that they both had, and so that they could take care of them. Now, in the months of October to December 2020, the family started hearing rumors that my father, my mother's husband, had actually impregnated another woman. My mother has refused to believe that, but now my father is beginning to put on some sort of attitude, like not coming home from work for some days, and now he doesn't give money for upkeep anymore. He keeps complaining that his salary is being hooked. Please, in this case, what should the family do?" Now, I think it's only fair that we actually take this up, because this person certainly cannot wait for us to finish, the series. So whatever time we have left, we will take up on that. But I wonder what you have to say about this. Pastor Dudu.
If a man is not coming back home after work and you are hearing rumors that he has impregnated another woman, of course, there's something wrong. In this case, I think the children themselves are old enough, since that's one of the child that sent that text message, right? Mm-hmm. I think the children themselves should find out. They should trail their father to find out where he goes to after work. Because if a man doesn't come back home and then you people are looking for him, waiting for him to come, it means they don't even lock up the house until late in the night when they know that the father is not coming home. Let them find out where the father goes to. And let them ascertain that the rumors that they're hearing is true. Now, if the rumors that they are hearing is true, I think these children will be able to talk to the father themselves. If the mother talks to the father, there might be problems. But I think if the children are old enough to sit him down and say, okay, this is what we have noticed. We want to know the truth about it. And if the man decides that he's not going to do anything, they cannot do anything, what else can the children do apart from pray? This is one of the things that we say, just pray about it. But they should be able to ascertain where does our father go to. And they must be able to talk to him because they are of age. And let them hear what the father has to say. And let them tell him their own opinion. Maybe, I don't know, maybe some of them are working, maybe some of them are not, because they are 9. And now he has moved base to another woman. We are assuming. Let them try and find out where the father goes. And then at least if they find out, then they'll be able to sit down and talk to him. If the father is not willing to hear them, if they have a church, they can take it to elders or church so that they can talk to the man. I think that is what they should do.
So when we talk about talk, what exactly should that talk be like? What should they ask their father? For instance, they find out that there's really a child outside wedlock. What then should that talk be like?
What happened? Does he go to? Why isn't he staying at home? What is happening to him? Let them know. Let them hear from him. Because if they don't make any effort at all, that's bad. But when they try to find out, Daddy, we discover that you don't come back home, and we know that there's another woman somewhere, we want to know what is happening. That is where they can start the talk. And it's not up to the woman now because the children are old enough. And anything that happens from there, they will know what else to tell him.
Okay. Reverend.
See, when a man that has 9 children is doing this type of thing, what ought the children should be? So that is why we have a lot of problems today. Now, this is a covenant breaker. You marry a woman to be, the Bible says if who finds a wife finds a good thing. You found a good thing and you
damn all consequences and just continue to do what you're doing. I can only hope, though, that since this February is actually dedicated to single people, if there's good to come out of the discussions this month, that it would be that a lot of younger people would take second, third, and fourth thoughts about whom they want to marry. What kind of qualities that you want to see in the person that you're getting married to. Because now at least you're hearing what is happening to people who probably did not pray enough or did not consider their priorities enough or something, but certainly they're not having a funny time in marriage. It's not all about money. Money is good in a marriage, but honestly, it's not all about money. Okay, quickly, let's come to what we were going to talk about today as we await other text messages. We talked about sex last week, Pastor Dodo, and you were not here. Would like to hear from a female perspective before we move on. We talked about so many things, and the Reverend made it clear, and it's unequivocal, where the Bible stands on premarital sex. The bed is to remain undefiled.
Yes.
Now, but I did ask the Reverend that what then happens when you have a situation where people who are carrying sexual problems, could be in the size of the genitals, from the size to its performance to even genetical issues that they know about but are not willing to share with you. Could even be things like, the blood type or even the HIV status. So many things that could come off from that. How do you know who you are compatible with? I'm going to quickly tell you that the Reverend talked about, hugging and, hugging each other.
a special one.
A special kind of hug where your thighs as a woman is able to feel for whether or not this person is able to rise to the occasion, like literally. But I also was concerned about seduction. On the other hand, wouldn't some people say that this is seduction and it's not something that is supposed to be found in a Christian relationship? So we'll still allow Reverend to say something about that. But how do you know who would be compatible with you?
The Bible didn't tell us that too. The Bible is silent about that. All we know is that the Bible says that there is no premarital sex. Now, if an individual knows that he has a problem and doesn't tell the woman, and they get married, like for instance, somebody is impotent and he doesn't tell the wife, and he knows that he's impotent, that marriage will not stand because it was built on deceit. You understand what I'm saying?
Is this the position of a Pentecostal point of view? Because I do know it's a Catholic point of view, where we talk annulment. That means that there was no marriage to start with because it was based on falsehood. However, I do know that there are quite a number of people today who are being told, go and pray about it. I'll tell you something distressing that I also heard this week. A woman whose 9-year-old daughter is being abused by her father. And
biological father.
Her father. As a matter of fact, I was told that the mother of the man had actually caught him abusing his daughter too. It wasn't just the wife who had caught him, but his mother too.
Abusing her granddaughter.
I'm just going to go ahead and say, because it's actually it battered my thinking yesterday. They live around down quarters, and I pray to God that I find, because the woman is nowhere to be found right now, but I've asked that she be found. I was told that it was her pastor who told her that this is a demonic issue, a demonic possession issue, that it's not something that should be made public, that they should continue to pray for the man. And when I heard this story, I said, in the meantime, while you're praying for this man to be exorcised, for this demon to leave this man, what is going on in the life of that girl? And so I said this because I know that there are many people who are in situations that are just intractable, situations that are so bad. But the mantra that we keep hearing from a lot of quarters, especially from the church, is let's pray about it. This is not to diminish the power of prayer at all. At all. I do believe in prayer. I do believe in miracles. But the question is, at what point do you understand that, look, while we're praying, physical activities also need to be going, hand in hand? And so that's why I'm asking that, is this a Pentecostal point of view, or is it a personal one, Pastor Dodo?
To me, this is a personal one.
Okay.
Because everybody has their understanding of what the scriptures is saying. I won't say this is a Pentecostal stand, or say, oh no, this is a Protestant stand, all right? This is my own personal view about it. Because a marriage should be built on trust. And you have a problem, and you didn't tell her, this is my problem. It's different when you tell her, she said, okay, I'm ready to go along with you, but she doesn't know. It's deceit. So what are you marrying for? What is the basis for your marriage? There's no base, because it's false. It's not true. And then for HIV status, even I myself, I think what is happening is ladies are always too anxious to get married. So they brush aside, these things. Like somebody that has his AS, and the lady he wants to marry is AS.
Pastor Dodo, I beg your pardon. Forgive me. We need to go on a commercial break right now. And then when we get back, please don't lose the train of your thoughts. We will continue with you before we hear from the Reverend. Do stay with us. The program is Marriage Keys.
Because everybody must have told us about that.
Do you think that the church has a part to play in helping Christians decipher what the difference between exercising faith and testing God is?
They don't understand.
Reverend.
Many people must have taught them wrongly. You see, let that man who sent that note, message.
I haven't read it there's
Yeah.
someone who sent you a message. He actually said pastor, but I think it's you actually, because you
Yeah.
are the one who said
Who
you
said-
wouldn't marry someone
exactly.
with 40,000.
Yeah.
40,000.
Yeah, let me
me read the message
okay.
so everyone can hear, Reverend. He sent this message, or she, I don't know, but I think it's a he, said, I really disagree with the pastor's position, saying he cannot conduct marriage for a man who earns 40,000 monthly as salary. This is quite discouraging for some of us who earn such amount as salary and wish to settle down with our partner. I still believe in little beginnings. Yeah, so you want to respond?
Yeah, your little beginning should begin with your business, not with you bringing another person to be your wife. That is not where the little beginning we have been talking about here applies. Look, those who have experienced no money in a home, or even no enough money, not even no money, no enough money in a home, what both wife and husband have experienced, you need to hear it. To be candid, two people that love themselves before they come together because they cannot maintain, the man cannot maintain the home, first of all, gradually communication will begin to become a problem. And then as time goes on, one will begin to lose interest in Congress. Before you know it, there will be hunger. Before you know it, there will be disrespect. Look, all these things I'm saying are there. I have lost count of number of people that have canceled in this area. And if you want to go and get married with 40,000, you try it and see, but it's a pity, the woman that will follow you. Make sure you get enough to take care of yourself before you bring another person home. Before I lift, let me talk about when you get married and the man is an impotent person and or he cannot perform or any other thing that is associated with marriage. To be candid, the scripture is clear about this. Marriage is consumed when wife and husband meet together. When congress is performed after the blessing, whether traditional court or whichever tradition that is applied. But if there is no conjugal activity, marriage is not yet consumed to the extent of that spiritual covenant we talk about. The Bible says in the book of Matthew chapter 5 verse 19 and 1 Corinthians chapter 6 verse 16 that when you, a wife and your husband sleep together, a man and a woman, when you sleep together, both of you become one flesh. If that has not taken place, marriage has not been contrasted because it is not just by mouth.
Okay, so Reverend, apart from the ability or inability to consummate, which is to carry out the act itself, what about situations where we've heard, I mean, this person likes it too much or that person doesn't like it enough? I mean, we've heard, is it food? And then someone saying that if you don't do this for me, I mean, like, why shouldn't I go out? So this is also an incompatibility situation that, you know, we need to address.
Actually, from my counseling experience, let me leave myself out because I'm a different person entirely. And my case cannot be compared with any other. You see, a lot of people are not educated on the technology of Congress. I just use the name technology. It's not a big thing. It's just a common knowledge of how to go about having Congress. Congress that you will, be in another world. Your wife will be in another world. You see, there are ways to go about it. And if a man misses it, the woman will be discouraged. Now, it is not proper. Each time you meet your wife is going to boil water to press herself. You have missed it at all, that she is going to press herself as a result of Congress. It means you are not following the proper procedure. Mm-hmm. It's just like when a woman is cooking. I am told that when you put one ingredient, you wait for a certain time before you put the other. You don't pack everything into the pot at once. Is that right, Pastor Dodo?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Even in Congress, that same thing follows. You start by even giving appointments. Somebody say, my wife, how can I give my wife appointment? You do not prepare her heart for it. You have to prepare her for it. It's not something you pounce on. And look, somebody was discussing with me some time ago, and he didn't know who he was talking to really. He said, look, I really knock her, and he saw something. I said, what are you talking about? He said, my wife. He said he needed it, and I gave it to her. I said, you must have done it wrongly. It is not power. It is not by power. But I tell you, a lot of people exercise a lot of energy in it. It is a passionate thing that when you are on it, your wife wouldn't even let you stop. In fact, she will be the director general in guiding you the appropriate places to go. But if your wife is saying, I want it, and you is saying he has headache, he has backache, it means you are getting it wrong.
Okay. Okay, let me just start to take some of the messages that we've received so far as you were talking, both of you. This person says, good evening. I really want to thank God for this program. I want to thank God especially for Reverend in the house, the strength and wisdom of God in him. I thought I had missed this school when I left Abuja to Kaduna, and here comes the same Reverend. So I don't know were you in Abuja? I don't know how you're doing it, but may the Lord continue to strengthen you. Well, thank you very much. Then we also have another one. This person says, good evening, Ma. This is one of the examples of why I once texted you that most times Reverend sounds personal, because many Christians married when they were jobless, but now God has blessed them with wealth. And this is from Nehemiah. All right. So I don't think I have any other messages for now. Reverend, you want to respond to that?
Yeah, you don't, just like we were talking about faith, the pastor will stand and say, look, our life is a life of faith, but faith has reality. And when the reality is done, sometimes the church don't even help. They don't bring food item. They don't pay school fees. Mm-hmm. They don't pay rent. And then the man will begin to distribute himself. The wife will go to the parents or to stay with her friend. That is not marriage. But everybody can do whatever I want to do. Only that girls should should listen to me. Don't marry somebody that cannot take care of you. I'm warning you right away from here, because I know what I am going through now, even with those who are earning up to 60,000 a month. And the cost of food now has gone haywire, and they have four children, and the food is not enough at home now. The rent is there for them. Look, it's not a joking matter. If you cannot take care of a woman, please don't bring that woman to a house and suffer her. That is my stand. I still stand there. And then you can't tell me you have faith more than me. I tell you the truth. I don't boast of this. I am a man of faith.
Pastor, were you going to say something before I open up the phone lines for us to hear from one or two people before we have to go? Because once again, the time is far spent.
This issue of money, right? Honestly, when there's no money in the house, there's a lot of trouble. And most of the trouble is on the lady, because you are the one that needs to cook.
It's always at home.
You are the one that is always at home. And we know that when you get married, you could be managing. But once the baby comes, problem starts. Baby foods. Thank God we are doing baby friendly now. So they say the child can just suckle for 6 months.
But the woman should eat well
So,
before you feed the baby.
so most of the times when it comes to the issue of finances, and the husband is not able to cope with the light utility bills, house rents and all, there's always a big problem in the home. So to me, I think that if you are even going to marry a person that doesn't have enough money, you should be doing something, and then you should be able to be the helper that you are meant to be. But for him to just, two of you have nothing, and then you are depending solely on his salary or his income, it's going to be a big mistake.
Okay, so we have Crown Oluwasegun David on our live feed. He said, I think to you, Pastor Dodo, that you're making a lot of sense, ma. And then also said, God bless you, Reverend Joe Adijo. And then we have Pius Sylvester. He says, why comparing your era and the present day? Secondly, we are all not the same and have different destinies. I disagree with the Reverend, not Pastor, on some of his analysis. Well, let's just say quickly here before I open up the phone lines. I don't even know if we can do that still. But when we are even talking about comparing those days and now, which one is better? We hear that there was a time when people bought Hollandaise with 70 kobo. We're talking about buying peak milk for 25 kobo.
Yeah.
But now a car fresh out of Peugeot
for 4,500.
Exactly, 4,500 naira. And then today, that 5,000 cannot even buy you a bicycle. How much more a car? And so when we're talking about comparing those days and now, I don't know if Pius, you might want to go back and, but the truth about all of this is these are just guidelines. It's still you. It's your choice.
Yes.
What you want to do. It lies with you at the end of the day. We cannot make bold to say we must teleguide everyone on what to do. But there's something that I know. Having sat with these people, and I've been with them now for not less than 3 years running or even more. And I'll tell you that even that which I've taken away from here and put to work in my home has worked for me. But at the end of the day, just like Joshua said, he said, I place before you this day life and death. He said, choose you this day whom you will serve. And so it's really as simple as that. It's not a matter of this is by force. All right, so I will not be able to take calls. I apologize because we have even more text messages coming in, and we take messages above calls. So let's go to this one. This says, I think if we go by Reverend's financial standard of 40,000 naira, so many people will not marry and fornication will become the order of the day. That man who earns little today, that a man earns little today doesn't mean it will be the same forever. Okay, and then someone says, my Reverend, God bless you. All right, so we have different reactions to this. And just to quickly...
the women that are
those who are going through, right? Those who are going through,
mostly women are blessing the Reverend. Yes.
Well, let's just also quickly say that The Reverend hasn't said that because you earn 40,000 today, that's it for you. It can never be better than that.
No, I didn't say so.
He's saying plow some of that money into improving
your life,
the money that will come in for you at the end of the day, and then you can think about bringing someone in. All right. So, any last lines? We've run out of time. Unfortunately, cannot take calls. Please continue to send in your reactions via our text lines, and then of course that same number is on WhatsApp, so you can actually, if you need to type a whole story, you can go on WhatsApp and type it out. And the number is 07072703270. I hope everyone has a pen there so that you can get this. I also want to give you the numbers of our resource persons. For Reverend Adejo, please don't call now. For Reverend Adejo, you can get him on the number 08034057915. I'll call Reverend Adejo's number again. It's 08034057915. For Pastor Dodo, you can call her on the number 081-8614-2295. For Pastor Dodo, get her on the number 081-8614-2295. For Mr. Emmanuel Ogbaki, you can reach him on 080-6861-6731. Once again, Mr. Ogbaki's number is 080-6861-6731. You want to reach out to me, you can get me on the number 090-7270-3270. There's this place, Reverend, in the Bible, I think it's in the book of Proverbs, where he said that these things that he's saying to you, my son, is for your, it's like markers in the road to guide you in the way that you should guide. I'm paraphrasing. Yeah. I don't know whether you know this place where I'm talking about, because I just want to relate it to what we do here.
Yeah, I will bring it for you solidly in our next meeting.
Okay, it's a place. I know it's in Proverbs.
Yeah.
Where he was saying to his son that these words that I'm telling you.
If you go to Proverbs chapter 1 and you begin to read down, you will see it.
It's for you it's to guide you.
Yes.
In the path in which you should go. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to take it. No. But if you do take it,
it will be good for you.
It will make the journey easier. Yeah. It will make the journey easier.
Yeah.
All right. I'm just going to end with this text message here. This person says, my husband gives me 10,000 a month and I am dying.
Oh.
All right.
10,000.
10,000 a month and I am dying. So that's the text message, and I think we're just going to leave it at this. My husband gives me 10,000 a month
and I'm dying.
And she didn't even say whether she has children or not.
She didn't say. She didn't say. All right. So there are people who have happy marriages. By and large, it doesn't mean that there won't be disagreements, but they do have happy marriages. For the young people who are listening to us, those who are praying to enter into matrimony, why would you want to enter wrongly? Yes.
You know, there are some young men I'm following up now. So one of them is earning 20,000. Another one is earning 40,000. And I told them, continue to build up your money. And I received report from them from time to time. And I said, okay, there's one I said, by next year, by God's grace, your income per month is going to hit 80,000. And then we can begin to talk about marriage. He started from 20, and now he's going up. Another one is 40, and he's going up. But somebody sit down somewhere and he's saying, 40,000, I'm going to get married. Go and get married and see now.
No, my parents will get married for me.
Go and see. You will have the experience. And men hate it that their wife don't respect them. And this is one of the beginning.
That's the beginning of their
The
problems.
problems.
Mm.
Indeed, nobody here wants anyone to have a bad marriage at all, at all. And that is why we do this. I pray that the Holy Spirit speaks to each and every one of us and that we're able to interpret it the way that it would be useful for each
Yes.
and every one of us. To those who are married, here's hoping that you're keeping your home. To the young people, we do it so that you don't have to call anyone someday for help in your marriage. Let's all go out there and do have a victorious week ahead. Until next Sunday.